Moving onwards, I'd like to introduce the next presentation, Confidential NFTs, the new way to protect personal data. And I'd like to introduce special guest, Oleg Lodygensky, CTO of iExec. Oleg.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the invitation. So this is a second presentation with French accent, sorry. I am Oleg Lodygensky. I am CTO of iExec. This is not my slide. This is, okay, you changed the slide? No? No, I don't. Okay, anyway, that's, okay, I don't know. I am CTO of iExec, which is a blockchain startup in France, where we propose a Web3 marketplace for, yeah, I think this is the last slide. so how does it work? Okay, let's go to the beginning, sorry. Okay. Where we propose a Web3 marketplace for digital assets such as computing power, application, and dataset. And today, I would like to introduce Confidential NFT, which is a solution to protect, to ensure ownership and privacy and, of private data. So, what is interesting this afternoon is that for those who followed the presentation from the beginning of the evening, we had the guy from Mina Foundation who presented privacy within Web3, and this is a notion we use to create our product. We had the guy from IPFS introducing the technology named NFT storage, and this is a technology we need to create to ensure privacy and ownership of private data. And also the guy from KYC.io presented the frontier between Web 2 and Web 3, and this is something that I will also say a word about, because this is about adoption. So first of all, we will see how Web 3 helped to use personal data, a new way compared to Web 2 to use private data. And this is because Web 3 has the services and protocol to maintain your privacy and ownership. And also, thanks to smart contract, you can write your own governance, which is the fact that you can use who will have the right to use your data and for what purposes and how they would do that. So this is very different from Web 2. And we wanted, at iExec, we proposed a survey to try to understand what limitation is there regarding private data on Web 2 and how what solution we could propose regarding the pain as found thanks to the survey. So on Web 2, to access free and open and public application, just like, I don't know, Facebook or what you want, people do have to share their own data. And they accept to share their own data, certainly because they see an added value to this public application and free application. But even if they accept to share their own data, they feel that this is something quite, negative. They have to do that, but they would like to not be compelled to share their data to be able to use this application, because they don't know where these data are stored. They don't know exactly what, I guess they certainly imagine that this data is used to target advertisement or something like that, but they do not really know what their own data will be processed for. And they don't know who will have access to this data, and if this data will be shared between parties without any notification. So in one word, they accept to share their data, but in a kind of negative state of mind. They accept because they are compelled to, but they would like to not share. Certainly, if only there was a way to not sharing their data just like that, certainly they would be very, very happy. We also had some testimony. Some people wrote some article, and this is exactly what they wrote. They wrote that they feel there is the obligation to share their data, and they feel that they lose the sovereignty of their own data. They lose the power of their own data. So this is a pain, it seems. When we ask them, what would you like? Regarding the fact that you are not very happy with the fact that you have to share your data, how could we reduce the pain? This is the question, finally. And for the great majority, certain people say, okay, at least I would have some. I would love to have some information. I would love to clearly understand why I have to share this data. Who finally will really use this data and what for? This is the first. This is a main concern. Also, for some of them, and we can guess that this is from the people who answered to the survey, and these people certainly were aware about the blockchain. Some people said that the blockchain could be a solution. So, okay, we will try to see if this is true, and we will try to convince these people that, yes, blockchain is part of the solution. We can use this Web3 technology to reduce the risk of your own private data, and we would like to finally propose a solution so that the end user keep full control of their own data, keep the ownership, and keep the privacy of their own data. This is what we want to do. And we want to make people able to design their own governance, their own policy, what data they want to share and how they want to share this private data. So the way it will work is that we have two, let's say, networks. The first one is Web 2. This is where the end user stores their own data. This is, you use maybe Google Suite or what you want, any storage to store your data, and somehow you try to protect this data, maybe by your login password or by any manner. But when you do that, you perfectly understand. I mean, if we talk about your credit card, certainly everybody understands this is private, and this should not be shared. So this is the kind of information you want to keep private. But if you go on-chain, and I start this talk by detailing that Web3 can help to protect your data, but it is not very obvious because on Web3, everything is public. This is due to the blockchain, this is for traceability. So how can we mix the advantage of Web3, the advantage of traceability with some protection of your own private data, and this is what we solve with this confidential NFT. So what is confidential NFT? This is an NFT, just like NFT exists on Ethereum, of course. So an NFT is a proof, or at least this is a digital signature that say you own this data. Of course, your data is not stored on-chain because it is not possible, but you store, let's say, the SHA-SUM or what you want, the fingerprint of your data, and you say that the fingerprint I own, with my wallet on Ethereum, I own this data, and I can prove it because I know I can check, you can check the fingerprint of this data. So thanks to this mechanism, you can pretend you own the data. Then at the end, this is not enough because if you want to make this data available to dApps, to Web3 application, this is not enough to create an NFT. What you want to do basically is to store your data, and here we retrieve IPFS that has been presented, and with this notion of NFT storage, this very interesting notion. And what we propose is to encrypt your data with your own encryption key, and so that when you store your data publicly somewhere, nobody can access your data because nobody has the key. You have to, of course, you have to protect the key, and we propose a storage management system to do that. Then, instead of putting the fingerprint of your data in the NFT, you store the fingerprint of your encrypted data. This is using NFT as usual. The only thing that at the end, the data is not accessible just like that. You need the key. And when this is done, so at this point, your data is encrypted, your data is secure, nobody can access it. You can, thanks to iExec stack, you can write a governance, say, okay, these dApps I accept that this application access my data, because I trust this application, because I know who is behind, because I know the application will be certified, this application will not copy my data, blah, 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 what you want. Anyway, you accept that this application access your own private data. Of course, this is not possible just like that, because you do not provide your encryption key. If you provide your encryption key to the application, you lose your ownership, of course. So At the end, what we want to do, what we propose to the end user is a mechanism where the application can process your data without accessing it. This is quite strange. This may sound quite strange, but this is how it works. The application itself accesses the data, but cannot reveal, and the data are not revealed. So this is done by three mechanisms. The first one, as I said, is that you have to encrypt your data. This is for security reasons. The second technology we use is confidential computing, which is the technology proposed by, for example, Intel SGX, but not only. AMD SCV is also a confidential computing technology, or RAM trust zone. Anyway, this is a kind of vault. So inside the vault, nobody can see what is going on inside the vault. So your data is automatically pushed on the vault. The application that you trust is also following the governance you decided. The application is also put in the vault. The processing happens in the vault, and the result is sent back to the application owner. And in the vault, we have to push your key using a secret management service. And because everything happens in the vault, we at iExec, even us, that we develop all the software, we don't have access to what happens inside the vault. Okay, so this is fully secure. And at the end, the management and the ownership is proposed by the blockchain itself, by Web3, because thanks to the NFT mechanism, thanks to smart contract, the ownership and the governance can be written on-chain. And of course, you can, thanks to the traceability, because I said that the blockchain, everything is public on the blockchain, so that at the end you can check that this application accesses your data or not. So the benefit of the confidential NFT is to retrieve control of your own privacy, is to be able to share your data with trusted application only, and untrusted application. But I mean, you have to decide with your governance. So this is up to you. I mean, you personally must trust the application, but this is not an application that is supposed to be trusted because it's famous, for example. Okay. So this is exactly how you retrieve the control of your own data, and eventually, potentially, you can, if you want, monetize your own data. For example, your medical data could be monetized that way, and the laboratory will never have access to your medical data. And that is all. Thank you very much. Any question?
All right, for our Q&A, any questions? Going once. Going twice. Well, I got to say, I think we're really lucky. We really have these great silver bullet presentations. Left this crowd speechless too. We have awesome guests. Well, if there's no questions, comments, lamentations, Oleg, thank you very much. Excellent presentation.